This is your one and only 𝐈𝐸𝐻81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and welcome back to another informational Valheim video. It's that time again. They have released another teaser trailer for Hearth and Home, and today we're going to break it down, so let's get to it. Alright, starting right off, they show a bunch of food. Most of it we've already seen, but there is a dish in this shot, and in the other shot they show of this table that I do not recognize. I went back through my other images and I have not seen this one yet. I think this puts our total count of new food up into like the 14-ish range of new items. So if you've been keeping track and counting, let me know how many exactly down in the comment section. I've estimated around 14 from what I've seen so far with the screenshots that I currently have saved. Now, at first glance, I thought that this dish was a pie because we get kind of a weird angle at it in this shot here, and then in the other shot that you see here, we get a top-down shot of it, and it kind of looks like a pie, but I don't think it is, because if you look there on the right side, you can see that it kind of looks like ribs. And I think this is a dish made with the new meat that drops from deer, aka deer meat. Because the deer meat, if you look at this shot, shows ribs. So I think it's pretty safe to say that this is some type of new deer meat dish. So I gotta say, I was a little disappointed in this trailer overall, because in the last one they said they were gonna talk more about the recipes for the new food.
Come back next week for a look at some of the new food recipes.
But they don't really do that. So in the next part of the video, they go on to talk about how they have split the meats up, which we already knew that. That is absolutely nothing new. So we have deer meat, wolf meat, and we have the boar meat. Now, what's interesting about this is they have drastically changed the stats on these. So currently in the game, if you eat cooked meat, you get 40 health and 30 stamina. You can see in this shot, if you eat cooked deer meat, you are going to get 35 health and a whole whopping 7 stamina. If you eat the wolf meat, you are going to get 45 health and 9 stamina. And if you eat the cooked boar meat, you are going to get 30 health and only 6 stamina. So they drastically nerfed the stamina on the cooked meat. Now, I'm hoping that they have balanced that by upping the stamina drastically on mushrooms and berries and giving them a duration of 20 minutes as well. Otherwise, you're going to have this situation where you're like, if you want stamina, you're going to be consuming more food for the stamina than you are for the HP, which is going to be kind of just annoying and wonky. So I hope they balance that out. I don't have any shots yet that I've seen, and they haven't shown anything that I've seen that actually shows the HP or the stamina values on those earlier game foods. We've seen stamina values on mid-game to late game foods, but not those super early game foods where you're just popping some berries or eating a mushroom. After that, they go on to talk about how the cauldron is going to need upgrades. So those things that we saw in other shots and other teasers and stuff like that, the chopping block, the pots and pans, and the herbs, we thought those were going to be just purely decorations. They are not. They are now upgrades for your cauldron, the same way that you upgrade your other crafting stations. So now to craft more advanced foods, you're going to have to build these things and put them somewhere in your base. To be honest, I don't know how I feel about this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. I'm not too... I don't know. I'm on the fence about, like, I don't mind the upgrade situation very much when it comes to upgrading a crafting station, but the way they do it means that you just kind of got to clutter your base with more stuff. And while you can use it as kind of a decoration type thing to make your base look fancy and stuff like that, if you want to play minimalist style gameplay and you don't really care about decorations, you just want it, want what you have to have so that you can make the next thing, it kind of forces you to have, it does force you to have these things in your base. And I don't know how I feel about it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you like this change? Do you think it sucks because you got to put more stuff in your base? I'm eager to hear what you all think. And then they show a shot of the oven and they talk about it. So this was in my last video I did. They just showed a screenshot of this thing. This is an oven. So we know now that this is where you will bake your pies and breads. They are removing those from the cauldron, which makes sense for the most part. You don't bake pies. I've mentioned this in comments a couple of times where people have talked about you don't bake bread in cauldrons, but that you can bake there is a bread you can make in a cauldron, but that's beside the point. You're not going to make a pie in the cauldron, and now we actually have a dedicated oven for breads and pies. Now, when watching the video and you see the character walk into the area here, I think they gave a spoiler here that they didn't mention, which is something that they've been doing in the other ones. For example, last week was the shield. If you look over to the left as they're walking in, on the table there appears to be potatoes. Now, those could be the onions, but I don't think so, because I would imagine that when you place the onions down, they're going to place with the green stem up or stem up, similar to how the berries and stuff are placed on tables. I don't think they would have placed them down on their side, and it could be a situation where they do that, and this is just a weird angle, but those don't look like onions to me. Those look like potatoes, or possibly rolls, but they also don't quite look like rolls to me. They really look like potatoes to me. I mean, look at them. Look at them. Look at those. They look like that's a potato, right? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, because I swear that's a Valheim potato. If I was making potatoes in Valheim, that's what they would look like. It fits the art style, and I mean, like I said, could just be a weird angle on the onions. Very possible. We know we're getting onions, but they're adding a ton of new food. Now, the other thing that these could be is there is the ice cream, and it's spelled with I. That could use gray dwarf eyes. I don't think they would make a separate eye, but they could, and this could be an eye, and it's just facing the wrong way. But I think I'm reaching there on a lot of different things. I think it's a potato, and I think that's their little like sneak in hint thing for people like me who really want to tear down these trailers, similar to the shield from last week. And then we have one of the best things that they could have added to this game, and that is the pukeberries. And I know you're like, Firespark, why would that be good? Why do I want to throw up all the food that I have in me currently and set my stats back down to the base stats? That is because this means that at any given point of time, you can reset your stats to max, because we know that the food is still going to tick down and your stats are still going to tick down with the food over time. So if you eat a bunch of things that last 20 minutes, 10 minutes later, you're going to have half of what the stats that you would have had when you first ate them, which for me is a super annoying mechanic and it drives me nuts. But now you can bypass that by eating some pukeberries and then re-eating your food once your stats get low. The other thing that this means is that when you go to fight a boss and you ate a little while ago and you're 10 minutes in and you still got 10 minutes to go on your food, or maybe you ate some more advanced stuff and you're further in the game and you got like 30, 45 minutes and you need to swap from having a bunch of HP to stamina, or from having a bunch of stamina to HP, now you can eat the pukeberries, throw everything up, eat, and reset your stats to whatever you need them to be, or max them back out again. This is an absolutely fantastic addition to the game. I'm so glad they added it. This helps mitigate the annoyingness of the fact that your stats count down over time. And then they mentioned don't do it too close to your friends, which I think is a hint to something. And the first thing I'm going to do is puke on one of my friends because I want to see what happens. I feel like they probably put in some type of silly mechanic there. Either it poisons them, damages them over time, makes them sick too. Oh, that would be so funny. How funny would it be is if you puke too close to somebody and you puke on them, they throw up and puke too, and you all have to eat new food. That would be an amazing mechanic, and I hope that's what happens. Anyway, then they finish up the video talking about weapon tweaks. Apparently they have tweaked not only shields, they have also tweaked a bunch of weapons. So that is what they are going to talk about next week. Hopefully they actually really talk about it and don't just kind of graze over it like they did with the recipes this week, because they didn't actually show any recipes this week. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. I've rambled enough. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. I'm eager to hear your thoughts and opinions as usual. And if you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I put out other videos. And I don't just make content on Valheim. I cover all kinds of different things. So you never know when I'm going to be making videos for a game that you may be playing. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. If you like what you saw, consider hitting that sub button. I want to give an absolutely massive shout out and thank you to my supporters on Patreon for making this episode possible. Y'all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to join my elite crew of Patreon supporters, please check out the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.